Welcome to another installment of the of Oracle DBA to the for the Oracle DBA to the channel. Today we actually go over the language that is used um, to interact with the data in your database. And pretty much there are four types of languages that you use to as an Oracle DBA. They are the first one is the data definition language. Mm. The second one is the data manipulation language. The third one is the data control language, and the fourth one is the transaction control language. And the first one, the data definition language. Basically, examples of those are the create statement, the alter statement, the drop statement, the truncate statement, the comment, and the rename. Pretty much with DDL statements. Basically, the way that Oracle works is when you run a command. Oracle sends that message to the database, and if you're using it does not necessarily mean that if it's a change or if it's an alter statement, for example, where you're actually manipulating, or if it's any, actually, you know what, take that back. If it's any DDL statement, what's going to happen is that the database is going to be there's going to be an implicit commit for that statement. So if you create an object, you create an index, you create a table, you create a sequence, all those are implicitly committed to the implicitly committed. So that means that the data will be that change will be stored, and the only language that out of all these four languages, DDL statements are the only ones that pretty much basically allow for you to, not have to use what's known as a commit clause or a commit statement to submit your query or your statement. The second language is the data manipulation language. Those are examples of those are select, insert, update, delete, merge, call, explain, plan, and log table. The way that manipulation languages work is basically you pretty much, if you have a database and you want to select, or you want to choose some data, then you would just use a select statement. And also, if it's the same thing with insert. If you want to insert data, you use an insert statement. If you want to use an update, if you want to update data, then you just use an update statement. So pretty much they are self-explanatory as far as these commands. The next one is the data control language, and the data control language is actually more for someone who has a certain level of privileges. So the way that it works is, in the database you have different sets of users. You have DBAs, like you have sys users, I mean, and you have just regular users. And what happens is that pretty much if you're a sys user, then if you have sys user privileges, you can grant privileges to other users. You can grant privileges on objects. You can grant basically like you can grant just privileges in general. You can grant like connection privileges and those kind of privileges, just the system privileges. And so okay, just to be clear again, system privileges are more broad. Connection, or I can't think of any other one. Maybe something like, with admin option, that might be more of a system privilege, but that's the core of system privileges. With admin privilege, object privileges, you grant control over particular objects. If it's a table, then you can do then basically you can grant the user that authority over that object. And then you also have the revoke statement. The revoke statement is to take away those privileges, take away either the system privileges or the object privileges. Um, and the last one is the transaction control language. Basically, these statements they're used to they work hand in hand with DML statements. So the way that it works is if you submit a select statement, right, and not necessarily okay, select statement is too obvious, and it's not the right example. If you submit an insert statement, like you're inserting a row of data into a table, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have to issue a commit statement for you to be able to, for you to have that row be permanently within the table. Um, DML statements do not, they do not, they can be rolled back, which is going to be one of the statements that I will cover pretty soon. So, but always with DML statement, you have to use a commit if you want to. It's a way of confirming your submission for that transaction. And the next one is going to be a save point. Basically, what Oracle allows for you to do is after you have let's say you submit a set of statements, right? If you submit some let's go to the DML statements. If you submit um, an update, delete, merge, just a set of DML statements. What Oracle is going to do is it's going to allow for you to commit and then to refer to the point that you save for those 5 DML statements, and it's going to allow for you to actually give it a save point name or a save point number, and basically that's going to allow for you to be able to roll back to that particular save point. So you'll be able to do go back to save point A, and that's the save point A referring to the five DML statements that you submitted. The next statement is the rollback statement. Basically, you use that to roll back any changes that you made, or unattended or intended. It really doesn't make any differences. You just have you can take back the changes that were made onto the database. Those are the DML statements can be rolled back, not the DDL statements. DML stands for data manipulation language, and DDL stands for data definition language, and those cannot be rolled back. And the last one is set transaction. Basically, you can set a transaction for a particular statement, um, and pretty much to be honest, I have not used set transaction too often, but basically it would be sort of self-explanatory. So I think it would be just a matter of getting used to having to use that often. So I'm going to take you actually to a very useful website. It's the w3schools.com/SQL. Basically, what it does is it allows for you to it gives you pretty much a rundown of everything you encounter as far as different statements within the SQL language. And basically, if you look at the left panel, you look at everything that we just went over. The select statement, they can actually have select distinct, and what distinct is a clause that basically allows for you to find a unique value within a row that you're selecting. So let's say you have a column that has a bunch of 8, and it basically with 9 rows, and it has eight letters and numbers that are the same, and you have the last one that's unique, and that's the only, and basically everything else is the same. So if you issue a select distinct, that's gonna retrieve the only that one value that's not the same as the other 8 ones. and basically that's the way that this thing works. It allows for you to carve out or to basically set aside a to set aside a a value within a row of data, that basically you consider that to be unique. And you have the where clause, and the way that that the SQL statement looks is you have a select star. I mean select. Really, this can be anything. It can be tables. It can be this the star particular means basically select everything, and that's from a table. So basically you would, if you were to let's say you have a you have a table. um, it's actually really difficult to do it on here, but the way that the way that the word clause works is, if you have this statement and select star from customers, right? You have a customers table, but you have at the top, you're selecting all of it, right? But the truth is, you really want to find out where that customer name is John. So what you do is you put in where customer slash underscore name is equal to John. So that's the way to retrieve particular sets of data. You would use the word clause, and basically that's the look for a particular value within your rows of data. And then you have and or. So and or, the way and or work is basically a set of data where two data sets are like where let's say you have a table, a database or a table where you're actually going over you're storing data on different kind of calls, and and one of the calls, let's say, that you have is a again, this is an example: Chevy Corvette, and it's red. So what should we do is the and or actually what they do is they allow for you to be these are sort of like distinct clause. So basically and or allows for you to match those. It allows for you to match where, like, you will put in where the caller name. So this is how we look. This is the way it would look. So if you had a table, the table for cars, right? So you would put in table select star from the table will be cars, where car type is equal to Chevy, and color type is equal to red. That's pretty much what you're doing with the and statement. But if you're looking for not so like unique any particular values, what you can do is you can actually do an or statement. What an or statement does is basically it doesn't, like, it mix matches the two for you. So let me show you how it works. So what would happen is that you would, for example, look at this one, right? So it says select star from customers where city Berlin equals Berlin or city equals München. So it's gonna select either city from Berlin or city from München, but not these two cities will not be the same. So going back to my example, so what would be on here is this you again, as far as this statement, the only clause that would apply to this one is the and, because you want to look for a car that's red. But if you want to look for different car types, that's where the or comes in. So it would be where car type is equal to, I don't know, Toyota. So pretty much, the OR clause allows for you to be able to have distinct set of values. One would be, like they would be the same, the same from the same column, but they would be distinct, distinct values. So um, basically, it's not gonna select just one set of of one thing, or one set of other thing. So it's gonna select pretty much what you put in. So it's gonna be like half, and it's gonna do some sort of like, I don't know how to say it, but kind of like you won't have just Chevys. You also have Toyotas. So that's the way that the OR clause works. And then you have a order by. So basically, the way that order by works is it allows for you to basically let this page. I'm gonna let this page go, so I can actually take you through what it would actually look like. Um, so basically, think about it this way. So if you have if you look at the clause up here, right? Select column name. What you do here at the bottom is you would order by column name 1 or column name 2, and you can do ascending or descending. Ascending bottom, the highest value at the bottom and the lowest at the top, and descending will be the highest value at the top and the lowest value at the bottom. So if you have values, let's say, column, if what you're retrieving is basically, let's say, uh, you know what, I think I'm just gonna show it on here. Okay. If you think of it this way, or if you're ordering by country, right, descending. So because this is a if countries is what's gonna happen is that it's gonna be ordered alphabetically for you. So since you have descending on here, it's gonna list all the countries in a descending order, meaning that um, if the country starts with the letter Z, then it will be at the top, and then if it comes up with letter A, it will be at the bottom. And if you had an ascending order for a country, then you would have, yeah, a country with letter A at the top and a country with the letter Z at the bottom. So that would not be descending, that would be ascending. Um, and okay, and then the next one, insert into. Basically, these are, again, going back to what I said earlier. Insert into statement allows for you to basically um, insert basically new rows of data into your tables. So the way that works is, if you look at all these different these rows of data, right? So what you would do is, if you wanted to insert statement, what you would do is you would have to write an insert statement with insert into, and the table name here is customers. So you would then insert into customers, and what you would have to do is you would have to fill in the different columns. So make sure you do not miss any of them, or the statement is gonna fail. So you can either do into the table with, by listing out the different columns within the table, or you can just not include these. And the way that it's gonna work is it's by you not bringing those in, you are basically you're giving you it's implied that you do not have to that that you want every column within the customers table to be considered for for the insert statement. So it will be insert into customers, and then values will be, again, make sure that the values that you're inserting, they do match with the different columns that you have. So Cardinal will go with customer name, Tommy will go with contact name, Tegan 21 will go to address, um, Stavin you will go to city, 406 postal code, country. No, we'll go to country. So make sure those two match. Or if they do not match, what's gonna happen is that Oracle is gonna return an error, and your statement is gonna fail. And you also do have update statements. And what update statements are, basically allows for you to update values within a row. So let's say you have this, again, going back to the customer table. So if you have update customers set, I've set, what you can do is you can actually rename this person. You can actually get rid of this name. You can, the way that would work is you would take this one, you would copy that, and you would put in set column. Column you would assign, you would assign the new value. So if you want to name this person John Doe, then that would be where customer name equals John Doe, and then you will put this one here at the top. So it will be basically where set actually, you know what, update table, set customer name equals John Doe, where customer name equals Alfred Fortikist. So basically, that's the way that the update statement works. Basically allows for you to swap in values for basically for particular for columns, for data within columns. So if you had, let's say you had Alfred, this name, like all over the all throughout the column, what would happen is that they would all actually be replaced with the John Doe name, and you would have an entire table, instead of Alfreds, you would have an entire table of John Doe. And then the next DML statement, it's the delete statement. The way the delete statement works is basically you are deleting from the you're getting rid of rows of data within a table. That's if the delete statement is not too specific. It's not specific, or doesn't include a word clause. So you'll be delete from customer stable, meaning that you want to get rid of all of these data sets, and that's without including the word clause, of course. And then when you put a word clause, what would happen is you would have to put in a column, and that column is going to refer to, let's say you want to delete basically where column equals where contact name equals Maria Anders. So that's what you put here. You put in delete from customers where contact name equals Maria Anders, and then you get rid of Maria Anders, and that would be basically, it would be a blank space there. And if you issue a select statement, then it's just going to show these four names, and not this one, of course, has been deleted. And you can of course, because it's a DML statement, you can always roll it back, and when you roll it back, it's gonna return the Maria and as well is gonna return. But the thing is, if once you submit a commit after the delete statement, what's gonna happen is that change will be permanent, and you will not have a chance to go back and do anything else. Again, with DML statements, once you issue that commit statement, basically the data set will pretty much will be updated. And then give me 1 second, and then pretty much that's pretty much all you need to know about DML statements. Very straightforward. Select, update, delete, insert. Let me see if I can. merge, cards, plan, log tables, and then to be honest, uh, these ones you will rarely use them. This one is the one that you would definitely have to like get a pretty good sense of what's going on, because you can do a whole lot with the merge. Emerge is I think in my opinion is the most powerful tool in the toolbox in terms of data manipulation language. It can pretty much it can perform a whole lot for you. And okay, and I will end here with the DML introduction. On the next one, I will go over the DDL statements, and I will just tell you pretty much what you can do with DDL statements. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys again. Thank you.